Force is concerned. Yeah. So away from that, we'll be looking at news, and definitely a lot happening as far as the news is concerned. And one of them, we begin with a story from Mombasa, and that was a tragic story where one body has been retrieved from the Indian Ocean waters following Friday's boat incident in Chuda, that is Mombasa, during a water sporting event. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, who toured the scene of the accident, pledged government support to the affected families and psychosocial support to 19 other survivors of the incident. Let's get more from Mombasa.
These were the scenes at the Chuda water spot where the incident happened. Families continue to camp at the venue as divers search for 2 more missing persons. Deputy President Kindiki Kithure toured the scene of the accident after attending a women and youth empowerment meeting in Nyali. Here, the DP pledged government support to the affected families, even as he hailed the first responders to the accident scene.
Nataka nichukue fursa hii kwa njia ya kipekee nishukuru wale ambao walihusika katika kuokoa maisha siku ile ya mkasa, siku ya Jumaa alasiri. Wale haikukuwa hivyo, ilikuwa tofauti. Mwananchi mmoja akuja hapa nieleze kulikuwa aje.
Ni bahati, ni Mwenyezi Mungu niko hapa leo. Yeah. Manake nilisurvive. Yeah. Wale tulikuwa pale tulitarajia usalama wetu utaangaliwa, lakini tuliachwa hoi.
The Deputy President confirmed one body had been retrieved and such efforts for the remaining duo who are still missing were ongoing. Kindiki noted that the national and county government will cater for the funeral expenses of the deceased.
Serikali ya kitaifa na serikali ya county zitashirikiana. Already tumepata mwili mmoja uko pale kwa boti, na tumewaambia wale ambao wanahusika wahakikisha kwamba usiku ya leo waendelee na hiyo kazi, ndio tupate kufunga huo ukurasa kwa njia ya heshima.
Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Nasir and Jomvu MP Badi Twalib, who accompanied the DP, continued to appeal for patience as the divers led by the Kenya Navy continue to scout for the duo.
Nitahakikisha kupitia serikali kuu kama walivyoniahidi kwa tutaweza kusimamia mazishi ya hawa wote ambao wamefariki ili kuondoa mzigo mzito katika familia yao.
Wakati tuko hapa tunaanza kunyosha vidole, kuna ndugu zetu lazima tuweze kuweka mbele za haki.
This as pressure is mounting for the organizer of the event to be arrested.
Thank you, Anne Buru, for that report. Of course, we keep tabs on that particular story, and my colleague from Mombasa will definitely be bringing us up to speed with what is happening, because remember, only one body has been retrieved, 2 are still missing. Away from that is that President William Ruto has said that Kenya will transition from a third world to a first world nation within the next 30 years. Speaking during the 70th anniversary of the African Inland Church Ziwani in Starehe Boys, Nairobi County, Ruto stated that his administration has laid the foundation to achieve this status in the year 2055. He at the same time noted that he has shared this vision with former President Uhuru Kenyatta, ODM leader Raila Odinga, and KANU chairman Gideon Moi, who recently joined the broad-based government. Here is our reporter Abdiaziz Hashim with the details.
President William Ruto, alongside a host of Kenya Kwanza leaders, attended the 70th anniversary of the African Inland Church Ziwani in Nairobi County.
Rafiki yangu wewe.
It is here the head of state revealed that the country will join the League of the First World Countries in the next 3 decades.
We have the ideas, we have the knowledge, we have the plan, we have the people, and we have the resources to move this country from a third world country to a first world country in our lifetime by 2055.
Ruto said that Kenya has been categorized as a developing country for a long time, and his administration is determined to change that through unity and hard work.
I have had a conversation with our former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga. I have engaged my brother, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, on how we are going to move this country from a third world country to a first world country. I have engaged many, including Gideon Moi recently.
He emphasized that the government has a clear vision and plan to transform the economy and improve livelihoods across the country.
Tuko na manabii wengi wa uongo. Wakati tulisema tutajenga manyumba, walisema haiwezekani. Wakati tulisema tutakuwa universal health coverage, walisema haiwezekani. Wakati tulisema ya kwamba tutaajiri walimu zaidi na kubadilisha mfumo wetu wa elimu, walisema haiwezekani.
He at the same time announced a new partnership between the national government and the Nairobi City County aimed at tackling the capital's persistent garbage and waste management challenges.
Hapa Nairobi, saa hizi mjengo wa manyumba 93,000 housing units are going on in Nairobi alone.
Coffee ya launch of the Archdiocese of Nairobi.
Ruto also joined African Independent Pentecostal Church of Kenya service, where 2027 politics took center stage.
Kwa hivyo, Your Excellency, pambana na hiyo hari kabisa, and we know you are up to the task. Hata mawimbi yakikuwa mengi namna hii, unajua hii Kenya hiwezi fika mahali unataka ifike kama hakuna mtu kama wewe ambaye anajua kwenye anataka kupeleka nchi yetu.
That as the President of the Republic of Kenya, please step in to help us resolve the health crisis that is there in Kiambu.
At this event, he revealed that 100,000 youth aged between 19 to 29 will be interviewed on Monday for the Nyota program, with an allocation of 5 billion shillings set to be dispersed to them for economic empowerment.
Abdiaziz Hashim reporting there. A bit of political stories where political drumbeats continued into Sunday, with opposition leaders alleging a plot by IBC to register non-citizens during the ongoing voter registration. According to the leaders, the move is aimed at manipulating the outcome of the 2027 general elections. Meanwhile, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku has lashed out at the opposition for allegedly undermining and vilifying elected leaders during a rally held in Embu on Sunday. Here are the details of the political power plays as the mini polls inch closer.
Sunday service at the Ambassadors for Christ Church in Kirinyaga County. Opposition leaders joined the Christian faithful for prayers a day after drumming up support for their candidate in the Mbeere North parliamentary by-election. Here they revisited their assertions of a conspiracy by IEBC to manipulate the polls.
Warundi wanachukua kura Nairobi. Waganda wanachukua kura Nairobi. Ethiopia wanachukua kura even in Nairobi. I've got this message from a whistleblower called Nyakera. He just sent it to us.
They called on the Commission to ensure a credible electoral process in 2027 and disclose details of the ongoing voter registration exercise.
We have nothing against United Nations Convention in support of refugees. But refugees should remain refugees. They should not become Kenyans. So we are tutaweka macho.
And the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, speaking in Embu, accused the government of neglecting rice farmers. His remarks on Saturday, criticizing Embu and Kirinyaga governors over their political stand, also sparked debate.
We must remain united as a people. Na ndio ninaambiwa jana, usikue mkali sana kwa viongozi ya kina mama. Hata hao wasikue wakali kwetu.
Public Service CS Geoffrey Ruku faulted the remarks, accusing Gachagua of misrepresenting government development efforts and vilifying elected leaders.
Na wamahali wanatusi serikali na viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa, nyuma yake kuna mradi ya serikali ya soko kubwa ambao serikali Mheshimiwa Rais amejengea watu ya makutano. You can't be an elected member of parliament, unaingia kwa constituency nyingine, unachukua mawe, munakimbizana na watu.
Elsewhere, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has expressed confidence in President William Ruto's political strategy, saying his efforts to unite leaders enhances his re-election bid. Mudavadi was speaking during campaigns for the UDA candidate in the Malava constituency by-election, where he revisited calls for Luhya unity.
Tusibahatishe tena kwa sababu Mheshimiwa William Ruto atakuwa mshindi, na saa hii sitaki tuwe nusu-nusu vile wenzetu wamesema hapa.
Tunatembea pamoja tukisema jamii yetu iwe kitu kimoja. Jamii, mtatusaidia jamii yetu iwe kitu kimoja. Tuachane na wale wapinzani ambao hawana sera, hawana agenda kwa ajili ya nchi hii.
Human rights activist and presidential hopeful Boniface Mwangi has raised an alarm over what he describes as escalating threats to his life, allegedly orchestrated by state agents. Mwangi, who has been a vocal critic of the government excesses, claims his recent experience at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport exposed a new level of intimidation after he allegedly found a blank cartridge planted in his luggage moments before flight. Mwangi says the incident is the latest in a series of targeted attacks meant to silence dissenting voices, even as he vows not to back down from his political ambitions.
Defendant presidential aspirant Boniface Mwangi alleges that on October 9th, while departing for Kilifi, a bullet casing was planted inside his suitcase after routine security screening at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
And on my way to board the plane, my bag was taken away by an airline attendant. I gave them my bag and they gave me a luggage slip. I got into the flight, and upon reaching to Malindi, I retrieved my bag. On my way to my hotel, I decided to remove a power bank from my suitcase. And when I opened my suitcase, in between the shots that had been packed by my daughter, I found a bullet casing.
Mwangi, who says he fears for his life, has linked the incident to what he terms a wider campaign of harassment and intimidation by security agencies, accusing the state of using arrests, cyber trolling and surveillance to silence activism.
This was put between the time I gave my attendant the bag and the time I got to Malindi, because I packed my own bag, I passed through the screening at JKIA. The first screening, there was a scanner, and the second there was a scanner, and I did not have this in my bag.
The activist, who has faced multiple arrests in recent years, says the persecution intensified after he participated in last year's Gen Z protests and his announcement to seek the presidency.
I was planning to go to Kilifi police station and report the matter. Then I was advised not to do that because I'm currently facing up trumped-up charges of ammunition possession, and going to the police station would have meant that I would be arrested for the police to investigate. Like most Kenyans, I do not trust the police.
As these lawyers, we are going to determine the correct thing to do, because now the matter is public, and, we will wait also to see the response from the government.
Human rights organizations are now calling for an independent investigation into Mwangi's claims, warning that the pattern of harassment against activists undermines the rule of law.
We shall not remain silent. We shall not remain quiet when these atrocities continue to be committed. We have seen how activists have been targeted, how opposition politicians have been targeted.
The government is here to issue an official response to the claims.
We look at sports now, where Shujaa and Kenya Lionesses are the winners of the 2025 men's and women's title at this year's Safari Sevens. The event took place from Friday till Sunday at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi.
The Safari Sevens made a return to the Nyayo National Stadium after 13 years and featured 12 men's sides and 7 women's sides after Belgium withdrew following the death of their assistant coach Warren Abrahams on Friday. Kenya's men's team Shujaa retained the Robin Cahill Trophy with a come-from-behind 14-7 win over Spanish side Shogun. The Spaniards went ahead from a converted try by Anton Legorburu, with Nigel Amaita and Floyd Wabwire replying for Shujaa, who retained the title they won last year in Machakos.
Probably a shaky start in the final, but the composure, that's what we need as we start preparing for a journey to get back to the series.
It was just like a preparation towards because this is actually our first game since last season. So we wanted to use it as our stepping stone towards the other tournaments coming ahead.
The second Kenyan side, Morans, finished finished third after 19-10 win over Zimbabwe.
That was the main aim of the Morans team coming into the Safari Sevens. I think the coaches are trying to look at a few talents that they can bring into the Shujaa squad. So a lot of us who are working for a lot of the boys are working for the slots at the Shujaa team.
The women's side Kenya Lioness were victorious after they beat Uganda 14-10 in the women's final. It was a relief for the Lioness, who had lost the finals in the two previous editions.
And last year Batuan against Uganda. So we are very happy and proud of the girls. I'm so proud of the girls because they decided to leave this cup here at home, and we've done it.
Congratulations to the Kenyan teams for winning the Safari Sevens 2025. Let's move on, where the Kenya national men hockey team lost their second match 3-1 to South Africa at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations ongoing in Ismailia. Kenya had lost 2-1 to Egypt in their opening match last night, just hours after their women counterparts defeated Nigeria 1-0 in their opening game. The Kenya men started well against the hosts and went ahead in the 39th minute through Bethwell Masambo. That lead only lasted 3 minutes, that is before the hosts got back into the game, equalizing through Ragab Hosman. 8 minutes later, Ragab Mustafa netted a second for the hosts, who began the continental competition with a hard-fought win on home soil. Next, Kenya is facing Ghana on Tuesday before facing Nigeria and Zambia in other round of the matches.